How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A review of a beer that I've had before. I had last time I had this was last year, the year before. I think it was 2016 version. Anyway, this is 2017 version. It is Bellwood Brewing's Skeleton Key. This is a spiced Imperial Stout aged in rum barrels. Yes, I had. I think it was a 2016 version. I could be wrong. Average Joe. He's a YouTuber out there. If you don't know, well, you should know. He came down and hung out at my place for a couple days, and he brought a bunch of beers with him. And he's close enough to the Canadas to get these kind of things. It's like a limited edition Bellwoods release, and yeah, shit blew my titties off. Didn't review it, but then I was lucky enough to actually get a box in the mail from Strange Bruisings, another fine Canadian fella, and this is in here. Thank you very much, Ewart. Can't wait to dive into this. So let's get to it. As far as what it says in here, it says Skeleton Key 2017. It is a spiced Imperial Stout aged in rum barrels. I didn't know if the other one was aged in rum barrels. I just know I loved it, but I mean, it's called Skeleton Key. It's got a parrot on it. It's all about Florida. It's got to be rum barrels. It makes sense. Bellwoods Brewing, 2017 version, 10.5% alcohol by volume, and done. It was super fucking cool. The old one was actually a very colorful representation of this. It was pretty much the same design. So it was kind of like watercolor painting. This one is just that kind of gold on black or black on gold, whichever way you want to look at it, and it's pretty fucking cool. So, yeah. Little glass my friend Jeff left at my house the other day. So you leave glass at my house, I used them. Here's a little glass company where he makes glasses and stuff, and this is one of them. It's called Glass Whales. You should go check it out. Buy some glasses. Dude's cool. So, plus it's fun looking. I love the shape of this glass. This is the same exact. If you watch my other reviews, I do a lot of sours out of this glass because it's a trillium permutation glass. I like the shape. It kind of just makes me feel all fancy inside using it. Anyway, yeah, almost 2 fingers of infinite creaminess, gravity-defying creaminess. Super, like I like my coffee to look like colored head on it. I mean, you could sleep on that shit. You could drink that shit. You could. I don't even know. There's some filthy things I could say right now, but we'll try to keep it at least just, PG-13 rated here for a bit. So, yeah. Does she look like a stout? Sure. That's exactly what she looks like. Who would have thunk it? Guess we gotta take a whiff now. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you're getting a deep, rich kind of baker's chocolate that's been mixed with something sweet. It's big, it's thick, it's rich, it's dark. You're getting that deep, rich chocolate out of there. A little bit of bittering almost from the malts, too. But there's so much sweetness in there from the rum, from the raisins, all the kind of the bits and pieces going in there. It's kind of add this kind of richness to it. Now, it smells like a stout. I'm not saying it doesn't smell like a stout. But with the added addition of that rum in that raisin with that big, huge stouty mixed stoutness, it's coming off kind of old ale-y to me. Because a lot of those rum raisin vibes is what I coveted in a very aged, very old, kind of old ale or English barley wine. So I'm getting a little bit of those vibes going on there. It's not a bad thing by any means. There's just, barrel char in there. You know what I mean? There's more going on. There's like, I could rip off, what did they say it was on here? Vanilla, sure. You know what I mean? I could be getting that from the barrel. There's a smokiness to the barrel. There's a little bit of barrel char, but there's also like you could tell me there's cinnamon in here. You could tell me there's fucking all kinds of spices in there. There's cardamom or nutmeg and a whole bunch of other stuff because there's a lot of different kind of spice stuff going on there. So just to say it says spiced Imperial Stout with raisins and vanilla. So there probably is a bunch of spices going on in there. But yeah, a whole bunch of bits and pieces going on. Yeah, it smells like a spiced rum Imperial Stout. That kind of flirting with a little bit of an old ale kind of vibe. It's all over the place in a very good way. It's impactful. It's huge. It's big. It wants to be drank. I'll abide. Cheers. Man, the amount of bittering you get from this, I believe from the malts, I believe from some hops, and I believe from a big, huge barrel char representation here. Takes every bit and piece of that sweetness and just keeps it in check to where it makes this so fucking drinkable. It's not even fucking funny. I think it's even a combination of like a lot of like powder based kind of spices, like your kind of cinnamon and cardamom and things like that, and nutmeg, to where it's like if you ever kind of whiff those or kind of inhale a little bit of those too much while you're cooking, it's kind of like kind of spices. They add that extra dryness to it that also plays with that kind of, you know, little bit of bittering malt and that kind of nice kind of soft kind of, I don't even say soft, my rich charry barrel char. Charry char. Yeah, it is really sweet, but it doesn't come off sweet because of all that going on. The body's to kill for. Super dense, rich, and thick, but at the same time, you got that sweetness in there that makes it super drinkable, so it doesn't come off as a chore. Yeah. Everything is dialed to 11, but with like a compressor, like a limiter on it, to where nothing gets out of control. It's like, you know, the beer is huge and big and dense. The rum is nice. It's not coming off like some of these kind of rums, especially Caribbean-based rums, can come off quite buttery to me. This is more of kind of a richer kind of liqueur kind of a rum vibe to it. A barrel char is probably the biggest portion of the show there. I think I'm confusing it though. I think I'm taking a barrel char and I'm adding those dried kind of spices I was talking about to it, to where it's making me think the char is a little bit bigger. But again, that works for me because I like a nice big charry kind of barrel when it comes to my barrel aged beers. And it just all while being fucking hair on fire, fucking wheelie through the center of fucking a fucking clown car kind of craziness. It's still balanced. It's weird to kind of call out beers like this big and rich and off the walls balanced, but hey, that's what I do. Yeah, nice, tasty. Definitely one of the more funner, if not one of the best barrel aged stouts that I've had in a while. So let's get to right to that point. Yes, it is one of the better ones, if not the best. It is just as good as I remember it being. And when I had it last, I think it was sandwiched after a bunch of beers in a share. So to get into it relatively fresh, I had a beer before this, but it wasn't anything close to this size. It's cool for it to kind of stand up to what I remember it being. Let's see, value and availability. I remember Bellwoods stuff not being that bad. I remember it being definitely sub $20, but probably more than like 13, 14. So $14 to $18 probably, I'm saying. For this beer, honestly, that does not bother me. It's 500 milliliter bottle, I think, unless they're cheating you a little bit. They have this, yeah, 5 milliliter. Which is weird. This is actually, This is actually the first, I just noticed this too. This is the first beer that I've had over a certain percentage ABV that doesn't have written on it strong beer. Canadians. Why is that? Let me know. Maybe because it's only brewery only. Maybe that could be the case. Anyway, so yeah, brewery only. Super delicious. And what else do I want to say? If you like what we like this, if you like big Imperial stouts, if you like barrel aged Imperial stouts, if you like rum barrel aged beers, if you like spice stouts, and you wish there was kind of a nice combination, amalgamation of all that stuff in a very drinkable package. It does have kind of Caribbean vibes to it with the rum and the spices, but it has a nice stout thing that just is universal. It's like love. Love, music, and big, huge Imperial stouts. Which is love. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, Words and Stuff and Things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers, all four of those places if you want to check this dude out in the social medias. BeerMassive.com if you want to check me out in the audio world. Most of the audio world. There'll be pictures and videos, but a bit separate. What I do here in the YouTube review stuff, it's going to be a lot of brewer interviews, editorial pieces, things like that, but predominantly in the podcast form, iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff. Beer Massive is the name of the podcast. Go check it out. Like, rate, and all that stuff. 5 stars, because that shit matters. And there you go. Another review in the book. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice, big, huge, gigantic, delicious rum barrel aged beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.